All righty. Good evening, everybody. So happy to see you guys. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. And I want to say TGIF, but I think right now
Hi.
every day is TGIF,
Hi.
right?
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
PG from Tampa.
Okay, so let me see here. Oh, you guys, where do I go? Mute. I'm not seeing it. Okay, you guys, if you could mute yourself as you come on. I'm not seeing where to mute, where the mute button is. I think it might be under participants, right? There it is. Okay. All righty. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we are actually calling this our Wine and Wellness Night. So I'm hoping that you have your favorite beverage. And I have to show you mine because it says you wine, I wine. So cheers to everybody. Here's to social distancing. And I want to start off by saying, you know, in lieu of the social distancing, what I want to do is tell you guys, please make sure that you give the person that invited you tonight a big social, virtual hug, because this information is going to be very, very important to you and to your friends and family, okay? My name is Lori Charette, and I'm coming to you from Denver, Colorado. And we've got some really important information that is going to, we really want to just connect the dots and with everything that's going on right now, okay? I want to say up front, I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm nervous because I've switched this up a little bit because of the situation that we're in right now. And to say that I'm very passionate about this, and this is very dear to my heart, is an understatement, because I'm having flashbacks from 10 years ago, right? And many of you may be doing the same. So it's really important to me that we pay it forward and get this information out to as many people as possible, okay? So I'm gonna share my computer screen here. Share. Whoops. Oh no, are we really not working? Hold on here, bear with me, goodness gracious. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Isn't that what the saying is? All righty, thumbs up. Can you all see this okay? Somebody give me thumbs up. Anyone, I don't see. Okay, thank you so much. All righty. So basically what we're gonna do is we have a, we're gonna share some information in regards to the two things that are of the utmost concern right now for everybody, and that's health and finances right now, right? And so we're gonna share kind of a complicated new technology, but we're going to provide you a way that we can show you how you can do it in a simple way by flipping a switch, right? Sounds a little bit crazy. But I wanna share a little bit about my story, and I'll share more as we go on. But 10 years ago, you guys, do y'all remember what happened 10 years ago? We had this thing called the economy crash, right? And it was oh so real. And for me, I am like thousands and thousands of others who was subjected to that in a very powerful way. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've developed products. I've had multiple businesses, brick and mortar businesses, and I had a 7-year company, advertising company, when the economy started to take its turn. And I was hanging on with a thread for like 2 years in slow motion, right? But ultimately it got me. And I ended up losing my business. I lost my home. I lost my car. I lost my insurance. I lost my retirement, right? And can go on and everything, right? And it was total devastation. Kind of a little bit of angst of what people are kind of feeling right now, or getting ready to feel right now, right? And I ended up having to leave Florida to find work because nobody was hiring, right? Does any of this sound familiar, you guys? There wasn't any jobs. Everybody was trying to keep their doors open, right? And so I ended up in South Dakota for work. And I got to tell you, the next 3 years, I was still dealing with the aftermath of what was going on or what happened. And then my daughter and I, we opened up a salon, you know, so we had that restart button, right? And we had hope and that was huge. And the only thing is about 1.5 years into it, the mall that we were in, they were getting a very large department store coming in, and they actually came into the wing that we were in, and there were 6 businesses booted out, and we were one of them. And so there was a lot of fear, right? I've already lost everything. We're only 1.5 years new. I'm 50 years old. I don't have time to regain and rebuild that retirement again, right? So there was a lot of strong concerns and panic, right? And to say that I was on my knees is also an understatement. I was praying beyond prayers, and a couple came in and to the salon, and I didn't know them, and they didn't know me, and they came in and shared with me what I'm going to share with you tonight. You guys, I'm getting choked up because it changed my life and it changed my stars in a very powerful way. Today looks a lot different going into what we're going into than what it looked for me 10 years ago. And I'm so grateful. So I'm going to share with you what they shared with me. And it was this ABC investigative report. Okay, so we're going to start with that, and then I'm going to explain the details afterwards. So let's get going here.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes 2 antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just 1 pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there, but it actually has an extended version to this ABC report with another video attached to it, sharing where we are today from when that ABC report aired. So what I want you to do for the sake of time this evening, I want you to reach out to the person that shared this with you and make sure that you get that full version, okay? But can you see why I was so excited about that? You guys, for me at the time, I didn't have insurance for the first time in my life. So preventative maintenance was high on my priority list. I couldn't afford to get sick, right? But right now, that's a huge priority for everybody else too. So being proactive at our level is extremely important, and we couldn't be hearing that more now. And so many people are reaching out for this information that the leaders in the company are literally working overtime, and we're kind of sharing this information every day because there's so many people that are in need, and we're trying to do our best to pay it forward and provide the details so you can share it and you can invite your family and your friends to come and get this information, okay? So make sure that you also ask the person that invited you about tomorrow, because we're going to share some information tomorrow, right? You know, and just deliver as much as we can, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room, right? So you might be saying, is this network marketing, right? And I want to say that, yes, it is, right? And we're very, very excited about that. But when you first are thinking that, if that's your first thought, I want to share with you that it really isn't the network marketing part that you're concerned with, because quite frankly, everything today is network marketing. There isn't anything that isn't network marketing. And oh my goodness, is that going to be going to the next level now, right? I mean, you're going to have to get your groceries online and anything that you want, and everything is networking with other people and so on and so forth, right? Direct sales, etc., right? It's going to a whole nother level. But what you're thinking in your mind is that old school MLM, right? And that was like 20, 30, 40 years ago, you guys. And it was that thing that we would talk about called a pyramid scheme, right? And quite frankly, you guys, that is old school. Not only old school, but it's illegal. And you and I know that that isn't happening today. And if it is, they're getting shut down. Okay. So let's let that go. And I'm going to kind of connect with you and say, we understand that thought because our company said the same thing. So when this, back in 2005, when this aired, our flagship product, Protandim Nrf2, that they were featuring on that expose, was actually in 10,000 retail stores. It was in GNC and CVS. The only thing is what I'm getting ready to share with you, it's a complicated technology, and it's really hard to educate from a label of a bottle. And so we are a publicly traded company, but we were a $3 million company going backwards because no one was buying the product. They didn't know what it was. And when this aired in 2005, they literally got $5 million worth of orders overnight just on sheer speculation on what we just saw. And so they realized this was important and people did want to know. And so they reached out to an advisor and they said, look, our mode of distribution isn't working. What do you recommend? And they said mouth-to-mouth distribution. Why? Because it needs to be educated, all right? And so the company said, whoa, 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 wait a second. That sounds like network marketing. And there's no way. We don't want that stigma attached to our product and our company. So they said no. Are you feeling it, right? And so the advisor challenged the company. He knew that that was the right way. And so he took a handful of his buddies and took that ABC investigative report, and they literally went out and did what we're doing right here with you this evening. They shared the ABC investigative report, and they connected with an advisor to educate the details. And literally what happened is in 6 months, they outsold by 300% what they did in those 10,000 retail stores. Okay, so it worked, right? And they got the company's attention. But because they felt the way that you felt, They actually have changed everything within the network marketing model. And all I tell people is I encourage you to take a look. All right, so let's get that out of the room. What you're going to hear is we had a product that was a retail product. It couldn't be educated, and they needed to find a way, a method to get this information out to people. All right, so what we're doing here is I'm going to talk about some things. You're going to hear some words like biohacking and nutrigenomics and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, it might sound foreign, but I'm going to share with you that you're probably hearing this out there on the side and don't even realize it. And it's kind of like that red car theory, right? I never see a red car until I say, I don't see a red car, and then they're everywhere, right? So you're probably, after we are done with this evening, you're going to be kind of going around over the next few days, and you're going to be hearing stuff that's going to sound familiar. And so you're going to realize, oh, wow, this information is coming, right? And so what we're showing you here is I think it's USA Today, the Good Morning Show. They did a whole segment on this thing called Nutrigenomics. And Nutrigenomics is simply taking natural compounds or nutrition to enhance genetic expression. And they said on their show, which those are actually two screenshots of the actual live show, stating that that it's going to be a $600 billion industry in 2020, you guys. And this aired last year in 2019, okay? So you're hearing it, and you're going to be hearing it more, all right? So what is this thing that they were talking about in the ABC investigative report? They were talking about this thing called oxidative stress. And you know, 7 years ago, when I partnered up with this company, I could have went out and asked anybody, have you heard of oxidative stress? I could have asked any doctor or healthcare professional, and nobody knew what it was. But I can tell you today, when I walk outside and I talk to people, I'm surprised at how many people have heard of this term. But if you are not familiar with it tonight, all it is it's kind of like a buzzword for an overwhelming amount of toxic free radical damage. And so most of us are familiar with the term free radicals, right? And so oxidative stress, another way I want to kind of connect it for you is most of us are familiar with this term. Inflammation is at the root cause of all diseases, right? Are most of us familiar with that? And I want to share with you, it actually isn't inflammation. It is oxidative stress. The only reason why we weren't talking about oxidative stress is because there wasn't a solution for it. Can't talk about a problem if there's not a solution. But today there is, and that's what we're going to share with you tonight, okay? So where do we get oxidative stress? We're getting it from everything. What aren't we getting it from, right? Our environment is a toxic environment now. I remember when I was a child, we didn't have kids with cancer. We didn't have kids with diabetes. We didn't have kids with autism. We weren't having conversations like leaky gut. It's a whole nother environment today, right? We can all agree on that. I think everybody is familiar with that. And because of that, people know that they need to be proactive, right? And that's what they're trying to do. And so we're getting it from our water. We're getting it from the cell phones and the microwaves. We're getting it from the food we're eating, the herbicides, the pesticides, the GMOs. All of those things just aren't what they used to be, right? And so what it's showing you here is if we were to cut open an apple and set it on the counter and then come back 30 minutes or an hour later and take a look at it, it's oxidized, right? It's rusted. And that's kind of what's happening to our cells. We're rusting from the inside out. And that's not good. And unfortunately, today, it's happening faster than it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? Because of the environment we're in. So we have to be proactive. We don't have a choice anymore, you guys, right? And so Dr. Joe McCord, who you saw in the ABC investigative report, he is the guru of free radical biology. And basically what we're all trying to do is, the only thing, let's put it this way, free radicals attack cells. It's irregular, damaged cells that give us all diseases, aging, and ailments. The only thing to gobble up the free radicals are antioxidants. And that's something that you're familiar with, right? We know that because people are doing what? They're doing the fruits, the berries, the juices, the shakes, the plant-based foods, et cetera, et cetera. They're trying already, which is the good news, they're already trying to get that antioxidant benefit, right? But what they don't know, and this is why we have to educate, is that it's a direct antioxidant and it only works at a 1-to-1 ratio. It hits one free radical and then it's done. So for a second, it sounds like it's working, right? But there's a big piece of the puzzle that they're leaving out, you guys. We are actually accumulating over 300 sextillion toxic free radicals a day. And that's the healthy person. People who are sick, they're on meds, they over-exercise, et cetera, they're actually accumulating a lot more. So what that's telling us is at a 1-to-1 ratio, there's no physical possible way that I can consume enough to even put a slight sliver in that number. So we're doing the best that we can, but it's not enough, right? And so again, Dr. Joe McCord, guru of free radical biology, you guys, this guy is big news, big time. He is the one that founded or discovered this key enzyme, one of the 3 survival genes called SOD. And that discovery led to him winning this award called the Elliott Crescent Medal. And that is actually who's in that company. Alexander Graham Bell, Henry Ford, the Wright brothers, right? Groundbreaking discovery, you guys. So I'm just sharing a lot of validation. You're going to be hearing that along the way, right? Well, what he said is our bodies used to produce our own natural antioxidants. And it did that up until about the age of 20. And then it kind of does what everything does, right? It starts depleting and going backwards, and we just don't have that protection anymore. And so he said this thing, and this is the one thing I think that, or 2 things that really got my attention when they shared this with me. He said, if our bodies used to produce our own natural antioxidants, then there's got to be a way to turn that switch on again. Doesn't that make sense? If we can put our body back in balance, it's designed to heal itself, right? And so he went to work. 41 years in the development, you guys. This isn't something that happened overnight, okay? So that's another thing that you can say. This isn't just some fly-by-night anything, right? He went to work. And what he did is he compiled these 5 natural ingredients. And you're going to be familiar with these. Green tea, turmeric, milk thistle, ashwagandha, and bacopa. And quite honestly, you guys, when we get to this point and we share this information with people, they'll often say, I'm already taking, and it could be 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those products. But you're going to hear why this takes education, right? What they're taking over the counter is generally probably more than what they need, and it's counterproductive, and it's creating more free radicals. Dr. Joe McCord put a very small amount of each one of those together, but they had this synergistic action that happened amongst all 5 of them that made each one of them 1,800% more potent. So it's like green tea on steroids, right? But that's not even the exciting part. That formulation that he created that made this per tandem Nrf1 Synergizer and this red bar that you see on the right-hand side actually did what he was looking for. It turned on the switch. And the switch is called Nrf2. And Nrf2 is a protein that communicates with every one of our cells. And now that we've activated that switch, our body is back to producing our own natural antioxidants like it did when we were younger, right? So the flip of the switch, right? And so now we're creating our own antioxidants at a rate of 1,000,000 to 1 versus 1 to 1. So that got my attention. So if you're looking for cellular protection, what do you want, right? Do you want to do a 1 to 1 ratio, or do you want to do 1,000,000 to 1, you guys? So big stuff, big news, right? You can hear why we get excited about this. And so when ABC came to the company, the reason why they did that, you guys, is because they got their first peer-reviewed study. Now, for me, I wasn't familiar with that. I didn't know what that meant. But it's kind of like you've got clinical trials and you've got studies, and then you've got these peer-reviewed studies. They're elite studies, you guys. They're very rare. Most products don't have them, and if they do, it's generally on an ingredient in the product. And so it was a big deal when we got our first one. So that's why ABC, if you remember that show, they used to go to companies that were making claims, and they literally would prove them wrong and expose them on national TV. Kind of not very nice, right? But we watched it because they were an advocate for us, right? And you can see it was an all positive report. So the claim states that our product reduces oxidative stress or toxic free radical damage by 40% in 30 days in all mammals. Pretty profound, right? Well, let's fast forward. That was in 2005. Today, we have 31 peer-reviewed studies, you guys, on the full product, not an ingredient in the product, okay? It was a pretty big deal. So basically what we're wanting to share with you is the difference between taking antioxidants or supplements versus making them, right? So activation versus supplementation, which one makes more sense? Okay, so hopefully those are the simple things that you can take with you, right? On understanding what this is doing. And so what we want to share with you, I just want to provide the validation, you guys, because again, this isn't your Me Too product, all right? I was so grateful when I came on board that, and I decided to partner up with the company simply because I knew that I needed to share it with all my friends. And what was really exciting for me is that I didn't have to prove anything because it's already been done, right? Not only do we have 31 peer-reviewed studies, which I think when I came on board, there was 14. Not only did we have that, but you know what? We've got now, I mean, it's close to a couple thousand doctors and healthcare professionals that are partnered up with this company. And the reason why is because of these studies and this thing in the middle that says pubmed.gov. And that is the National Library for All Medicine. So if you were to go into the office with your doctor with a product and say, I'm looking at taking this, I'm thinking about doing this, what is your recommendation? They're gonna go to pubmed.gov and they're gonna go type that product in there. And 99% of the time, nothing is gonna show up. And so they turn to you and they say, well, I have to say no, because I can't advise you on it. There's no studies, right? There's no studies on it. However, if you were to take our Protandim into their office and they were to look it up, then I believe 26 of those 31 at this time, 26 of them are listed on pubmed.gov. And so you're going to get their attention. And in fact, it does. And so it's nice to me to see that we've got the validation of these universities. You guys look at this, the National Institute of Aging, Ohio State, Colorado State, Harvard University, the American Heart Association. Do you see what's going on here? And so not only do I have that validation, but I love that I can rest in knowing that the amount of doctors that are, and it's growing, like I said, daily, that are partnered up with this company, I know that each and every one of them did their due diligence. Right? So I don't have to prove anything. It's done for us, okay? So this is pretty exciting. So pubmed.gov, the other thing I want to share with you about that is you actually can go to pubmed.gov, you can type in Protandim, you can start peeking at those studies, but you can type in oxidative stress and any disease. And it's going to pull up all the studies that are associated to that disease, connecting oxidative stress and that disease. And then you're just going to simply ask yourself one question. Is it a good thing to lower my oxidative stress, right? So let's see here. I have to share this. I actually remember when this study came out. Nrf2 technology is now being studied across the world, you guys. And at this time when, and I can't remember, 2015 it looks like, at the time when this study came out, they didn't even know, I don't know if they do now, I'm assuming they would, but they didn't even know we were here. But they were studying Nrf2 and activating the pathway. And part of their study says that Nrf2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. You guys, we were over here like cheerleaders jumping up and down because that's what we represent, right? So now I'm telling you, look, don't just look at what we're saying, but look at what they're saying, right? So we were talking about the 3 theories of aging, and Protandim Nrf2 was the first one. The second one is our Nrf1 activator. And Nrf1 is activating the mitochondrial pathway. Now, I don't know about you, but all I remember was the powerhouse of the cells. That's all I remembered from school, right? I didn't understand how important it was. However, 95% of our cellular energy, you guys, comes from the mitochondria. 95%. That's pretty huge, right? It's very substantial, which means it has a very, very strong effect on our cells. And unfortunately, it's the same story. As we age, as we get older, those things also deplete. We have damaged mitochondria, we have less producing mitochondria, right? All of those things, which means we have less cellular energy. Well, our biotech company has come up with the only Nrf1 activator on the market that does exactly what we need. It upregulates the production of our mitochondria. It repairs our damaged mitochondria, and in turn, it increases that ATP cellular energy, you guys. So I encourage you to go look up mitochondrial dysfunction and go see for yourself the diseases and conditions that are attached to mitochondrial dysfunction. And then you're gonna say, oh my goodness, because I have a whole new respect for our Protandim Nrf1. The next of our 3 theories of aging is this weird thing called NAD. And I didn't know what this was, and you're not either. And it is very complicated, you guys, but I want to try to connect it with you, okay? So how many of you all know, and I really can't even see the raise of hands, but how many of you all know that there was a study that said having a glass, thank you, having a glass of red wine is good for your health, right? It's the resveratrol in the wine that activates this thing called the sirtuins in our body. And you're going, and I've got a clip here where you can see that now they're talking about sirtuins, you guys. So if you're thinking this is far-fetched, they're talking about it. This information is coming. Nobody knows about it yet. It's coming, okay? And so what are, okay, so let me back up a little bit. So Dr. Joe McCord is the guru of free radical biology. Dr. David Sinclair is the guru of sirtuins, okay? And you can ask the person that shared this with you to share that a video telling you a little bit more about that. But he is a Harvard doctor, and he's been studying this for 20 years, you guys. And he talks about the importance of this, and this is all attached to longevity. Huge, right? And he's the one that's responsible for that study, the wine study. And he said that it activates the sirtuins. Well, sirtuins, if I back it up just a little bit, you guys, I'm getting a little bit excited and I'm kind of going a little squirrel, but let's do this. We're going to pretend that our these 3 things are attached to a vehicle, right? So Nrf2 is going after the oxidative stress. So if we're talking about a vehicle, that's the rusting, right? The rusting of our car. The Nrf1 is the energy, the cellular energy. So that would be the engine of our car. Well, to put this into perspective, this is the computer of our car. This is what's responsible for telling everything what to do and how to do it and what needs the attention, okay? And so NAD is this weird thing. If we didn't have NAD in our body, like in 30 seconds, we would be dead, you guys. That's how important it is. And NAD basically is what turns on or activates the sirtuins that Dr. David Sinclair is talking about. Well, he's been studying this for 20 years, and they're trying, he's as we speak, is working on coming up with a pharmaceutical activator. Meanwhile, our biotech company has come up with the first all-natural NAD activator, you guys. And not only that, it couldn't be any more potent. It increases our sirtuin activity by 100%, you guys, in 24 hours. Do you hear me get excited? This is crazy. I'm so excited to be partnered up with this company. I mean, it's just amazing, okay? And you see this little gold seal in the bottom right of the corner? You've seen that on each one of the slides so far. BSCG stands for Banned Substance Control Group, you guys. And that is a very, very short list that is for the professional athletes and the Olympics and so on and so forth. Well, I think it's 6 of our products, either 5 or 6 of our products are actually on the Banned Substance Control Group list. And so what that's telling us is the purity of our products, right? That they can legally take our products. Validation, you guys, validation, right? Okay, so if this wasn't exciting enough, I'm gonna hit one more slide. It's a busy slide, but this is what I want you, what I'm highlighting here. So we come up with, we launch our NAD, right? We're excited about Nrf1, we're excited about Nrf2, and then we're like, bam, we've got this NAD. Well, what our company did is they did a study with all three of them together, and it blew their mind. They had no idea that they were going to get the results that they got. And when we put the three of these together, that synergy again happens, and it just blows it off the charts. And really, you know, you don't need to look at all the little details, but what you can see is look at the graphs, right? Look at the increase, 83%, 1,500%, 1,800%. You guys, this is crazy, right? And so when it comes to activating our body, is this powerful, right? It's so powerful. So I'm going to go to share. I'm not going to go into each individual. I'm going to briefly highlight each one of our products. We have a very small product line, but it's a very strong science-based product line, okay? And so we talked about those 3 theories of aging. We call that the Tri-Synergizer, you guys. And at minimum, that's what you want to start your body with, right? They kind of joke and say, you know, if you had 4 flat tires, which one are you going to replace first, right? You know, you need them all, right? And so we talked about the Protandim anti-aging group, and we have an omega, and we have this very, very powerful omega that people are turning to because it covers the omega-3s, the omega-7s, where most of them don't, right? They're covering the omega-6s, but it has this really cool, and vitamin D is omega plus, okay? But it has this cool thing about it that says that they can trace it from boat to bottle. Why is that important? Well, if you are on an omega or won't take an omega because of the fish burps, then you're gonna understand, you guys, I didn't know this, you're gonna look at your omegas a whole another way, is that if there's fish burps, it's because it's rancid fish. Did not know that, right? So being able to trace it from boat to bottle tells us that we know that it's coming from cold waters and good non-rancid fish, right? And you can test it. You can get your omega in, and we've got kids doing it. We have adults doing it. You can take your omega and you can bite into it. You're thinking, ooh, why would I do that? And it's a very faint lemon lime flavor, okay? So you can put it to the test, I dare you, right? And so it's kind of fun, but that's our omega, right? Our probiotic, you guys, most everybody is on a probiotic these days, right? We're talking about that leaky gut thing again, right? Brain gut health, very, very, very important. How is our probiotic different, right? Our probiotic has, the main thing that I want to address right now, and you can again ask, definitely ask more questions later, is our probiotic has this patented coating on it called BioHACK. And what that does is it allows it to get through the stomach acid, through the large intestines, the small intestines, into the gut to do the job it needs to do where it needs to do it, right? Unfortunately, the commercial grades or brands, they get broken down by the stomach acid. They never get there. And so we're only gaining like a 4 to 12% benefit off of everything else. And we are gaining a 60 to 70% benefit from ours. And so tons of people, once they learn this, they're upgrading to our ProBio because it's a significant difference, right? We have a very smart weight management system. And I say smart, it's not a weight loss program. Matter of fact, if you're on one, you can use this system with your program, okay? But I'm gonna highlight the fat burn. There is a prebiotic in there, and the prebiotic is a fertilizer to help you with your probiotic and everything else. But that fat burn is kind of fun. What it does is it attacks the visceral fat, which is that muffin top or that spare tire. That's the fat that surrounds our organs, the icky stuff, and it attacks it without compromising the muscle, you guys. And we know that that's so important. You know, when we're on a weight loss program, what are we doing? We're standing on the scale every day, on the scale. And if you're dropping pounds, you're dropping muscle 99% of the time, right? Smart, healthy weight loss or weight management system, you guys. Look into that. Then we have Nrf1 for the brain, you guys. We've got our Axio. It's actually connecting the neurotransmitters of the brain. This alone is attracting a lot of doctors. Go research it. 100% natural, okay? All the way from the food coloring, the flavoring, everything in it. This is safe for your children, and we call this the executive drink, by the way. And it is a different type of energy. This is brain energy. This is taking away the brain fog. It's mental focus. It's alertness. Who could use that? What about your kids in school, right? Who couldn't use that? You're going to love it. So definitely ask about that. And then we've got our Nrf1 activated beauty system, you guys. We've got a skincare that is beyond. I have never fallen in love with the skincare line until this one. And it's interesting. It is the only Nrf1 skincare line on the market. And the reason why this was born, you guys, is because of those peer-reviewed studies that we talked about earlier. 3 of them are from Louisiana State University talking about our Protandim Nrf1, right, the inside out, talking about it being chemopreventative against melanoma skin cancer. Well, Louisiana State came to our company and said, look, you guys got the inside out approach, but our skin is our largest organ. It's getting bombarded by free radicals every day. You've got to develop that protection from the outside in. And that's why we have it, okay? So it's kind of understanding why these products have come to life, right? And then we've got an Nrf1 hair care. You know, if we're conscious about, gosh, we're conscious about our health, you guys, right? The skin absorbs everything and all of those chemicals. So definitely get some more information on that. And so I'm going to highlight, we've got these things called stacks, right? And we talked about the Tri-Synergizer, and we've got this ultimate stack here where it's putting a couple of those pieces together that we just talked about, that I shared with you. But the Vitality stack at the time, that was, I think, the only stack that we had in 2018. You guys, this won a global award. Global, right? And I was really excited about it. 3rd place, right? The bronze medal for new product. But when I went and looked at what that award said, that's why I share it. It blew my mind. It wasn't just in the health industry, you guys, it was in the health and pharmaceutical category. Global, we're getting recognized globally, okay? So all of this stuff, again, I want you to hear validation and I want you to hear exposure, right? When we were wondering, you know, nobody knows about this yet, right? It's coming, you can hear that. So a little bit of information about our company, you guys. I am so grateful to be partnered up with this company. I've never done network marketing before. This is the first time. I knew that I had to share this information. And quite frankly, you guys, I've 7 years partnered up with the company. And we're on this side of the fence. We know what we know, and we've seen what we've seen. And we've got to get this information out to everybody. We just do. It's a responsibility for us to do that because somebody shared it with us. So not only did I need the products terribly, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to have that in my system because I'm not fearful for today, right? But now I have this opportunity that not only did it change my stars from the devastation that I was in, because I was going to be scraping for the rest of my life, but it's prepared me for today, right? And we can do that for you. We can pay it forward. We can provide you hope, right? You know, we can't go to work. We can't get in the car and go to work, but we can still work. For us, it's business as usual. And the neat thing about this is we do this together as a team. So take a look at our company. Oh my goodness. So we shared all of the studies that are attached to these products, right? We've got the science, right? Look at the shareholders and who we have that's attached to our company. Our company was just invited to ring the closing bell at the NASDAQ, you guys, in January, and it was so fun. That day, LifeVantage was scrolling the marquee in Times Square the entire day. It was amazing. And look at Facebook 2012, they rang the closing bell. YouTube, Amazon, Uber, and today, LifeVantage, right? And how many of y'all remember Julia Robertson playing Erin Brockovich, the environmental activist? Well, she's gotten on board, you guys. She has partnered up with our board of directors. She researched us, okay? So when I share with you that information is coming, nobody knows yet, right? Keep that in mind, okay? So what does it look like to be partnered up with this company? Let's see if I can move this down a little bit. What does it look like? There's two ways to get started. One of them is to get started on the products as a customer. And one thing that I do love about this company, remember, they've changed everything, right? You don't have to partner up with the company to get the discounts that we get. They extend the price that we pay to our customers. I love that. The other thing is if you feel that not only do I want to be on the products, but absolutely, especially now, I want to make sure that my friends, family, and neighbors get this information. And you see it as an opportunity, because why? There's two things on people's mind, you guys. It's their health and their finances. There is hope, okay? And so, again, we do this together, all right? I'm gonna share with you what that looks like. But we can get you set up where you can purchase, if you decide you wanna partner up with the company, it's simply buying the products that you just heard about and you want in your body anyway. But the company gives us a one-time opportunity where we get to get the significant discount buying a product kit, right? Those products that you want in your body, you get to purchase a product kit, you get this big discount, and then by default, you're set up to share, okay? And what that looks like, again, you're probably going, whoa, 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 there's no way I can do what you're doing. And we understand that, right? That's why we say it's designed to be done together as a team. If you try to do it by yourself, it's not gonna work. But this is what you get to do. I just got some information the other night that I'm so excited about. And I think you're gonna be excited about it too. And if not, your friends, family, neighbors are gonna wanna know. But I wanna get this information in front of you, and let me connect you with, right, the person that shared this with you. Let's get together with Mia, who shared this with me, and she's gonna be able to share the details and answer our questions. And that's basically what it looks like to share and educate this, you guys. You don't have to know anything. Matter of fact, the least you know, the better it is, because then you're not trying to say something you shouldn't say. And you mess it up, right? You get to play the honesty card. You get to say, you know what, I just found out about it, and honestly, I can't even begin to try to explain it. I'll just mess it up, right? You get to play the honesty card. So remember, we talked about this thing called timing, right? 7 years ago, nobody knew about this. I actually reached out to somebody on Facebook who I could tell needed to know about this. And I was checking in with her, and she said, is this Protandim? And I'm just so happy to hear that. But I'm sharing with you that the information is coming. But let me tell you about what that timing means today, you guys. I've never in my lifetime been introduced to a ground floor opportunity. What is that? Microsoft, Apple, Google, Facebook, right? I've never been introduced to very few people will in a lifetime. And I was on my knees praying, right? You guys, it's not a big deal that I know about this. And it's not gonna be a big deal that you know about it, because pretty soon, everybody's gonna know about it. Everybody is. So the fact that we are getting to know about it now is a miracle. It was a miracle that came to me when I was on my knees praying. But let me tell you the difference of that miracle for you today. The difference is, as I went through and lost everything, you guys, I was 5 years in when this found me. Thank God it found me. Thank God it found me. But it's finding you today. So you don't have to go through what I went through. Okay? So there's hope, all right? So there is a reason why this found you, okay? So today, there's less than 50,000 people in the United States that know about this. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. But pretty soon, I've shared with you the studies, the doctors, the influencers, the exposure, the awards, Aaron Brockovich, you name it. There's just so much. You can hear that window of opportunity is coming in closer and closer. And the beauty of where we are today is, if you get on board, or those people who decide to partner up with the company today, then we get to participate when the company goes into momentum. Let's see, the Apple iPhone. Nobody knew anybody that had an iPhone 1. Nobody knew anybody that had an iPhone 2. You might or might not know of somebody who had an iPhone 3, but everyone had the iPhone 4, right? That was momentum. You can hear that we're on the cusp, right? 3, teetering, 3 and 4. It's getting ready to happen. And those that have partnered up with the company today will participate in 80% of the growth of the company. It's crazy. Now, are they going to have an opportunity afterwards? Absolutely. We've got leaders that made it to leadership before momentum. So you can establish a very nice business with this company before and after. The only difference is that after won't have the opportunity to go through and build through momentum. Okay, so timing is awesome and it's a miracle, and I want you to take it serious, okay, and have that conversation with the person that shared it with you. What does it look like when you partner up with the company? I'm highlighting, you guys, when I say the low to mid ranks, it's the beginning of your business. The beginning of your business while you're working with your team to help share and educate people on the power of activation. $500, it says $630, $36, you guys. I'm gonna say $500 and $1,500. You guys, we're publicly traded. This is a legal document. By law, we have to share the actuals of what are being paid out to our business builders. Okay, so these are real numbers. So who do you know today? Who do you know tomorrow that's gonna need an extra $500 or $1,500 a day? I mean, a day, a month. You can get it a day though. So, right, that's the beginning of building this business, you guys. And they'll show you what that looks like, where you'll look at it and go, that's it, right? So it's pretty awesome. The mid ranks, the Pro 5 and the Pro 6, right? That's $3,000 and $6,000, you guys. I wanna say, what we normally say is that's bring a spouse home to raise your children money. But that looks a little bit different today, right? Our situation today is a lot different. It's even different than it was 10 years ago because it was immediate. It didn't slow down and trickle. It was immediate. And kind of right now, you guys, I gotta say, I think most people's frustration right now is dealing with the inconvenience. I can't go to work. I've got kids at home. The grocery store is a mess. The news is a mess. It's an inconvenience right now. But in 2 weeks, when they don't get their paychecks, it's gonna get real. I know what that is, right? They can't go and do what that gig economy was. The gig economy is you do your Airbnb. Can't do that. You do Uber. You can't do that. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, you guys. We offer hope. Okay, we offer hope. Two things that people are looking for right now: health and finances, okay? And we can help you out. So I'm not even gonna go into the elite money right now. I just want to share with you, you know, the $600, $1,500, $3,000, $5,000 a month, okay? We can get you there, all right? It's about putting on your business hat and going to work. You can't go to work, but so you can go to work here. And we can do it right here. We can be in anybody's living room, right? We're in your living room tonight. I love it, okay? So what is LifeVantage, or why LifeVantage, you guys? You know, over on the left-hand side, these are the reasons: the timing, the validation, right? All of this kind of stuff. But I'm not even gonna talk about that right now. I'm gonna talk about this over on the right-hand side, you guys. For us, for me, it's business as usual. I've been building my business off of my computer, right? This is what it looks like. And so it hasn't changed. I mean, it's changing. We're working a lot because of the things that people are concerned about, right? And so when we're talking about create a life on my terms, working from my home, being my own boss, yes. But I want you to look at what I highlighted at the bottom. It's about changing people's lives. And people need that now. They don't need it in 2 weeks. They need it now, all right? And that's the hope that we have, and we've got to deliver it. Help us. We can't reach them without you. We need you to get to them, okay? So my statement to you is, this is information for you, but if it's not for you, it's definitely for somebody that you know. Please connect them. Connect them to the person that shared this with you, and know that we are sharing this information every day because we are just trying to get it out, and so many people are trying to get it, all right? So we're here for you. We love you. Stay safe. And thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you for everything.